Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
So what is animal chiropractic? And, man, you sure do make it look easy, Doc. So animal chiropractic is a drug-free way to treat animals by using our hands to remove nervous system interference and allow the body's innate ability to heal itself to work at full maximum capacity. Wow, but you don't need x-rays, you don't need this. Just make it look so easy, Doc. And that reminds me of a couple stories. Like I had a plumbing leak and I spent, a couple hours trying to fix it. 5 trips to the hardware store. Got it better, but it still wasn't completely fixed. So, had the plumber come in the next day and, he measured once and cut 3 times. And no, just not, that'd be me. He looked at it, measured it, and was in and out within 30 minutes. And I was like, man, is that it? It's like, that's what he does for a living. There's this story about, the big motorboat guy, big tugboat or ocean liner guy. They had a whole bunch of people come in and try to fix the boat. Nobody could get the boat fixed. And he came in, this older gentleman came in and he, looked around, took his hammer out, hit it 3 times and said, okay, it's fixed. And that'd be $10,000. And the people were like, what? $10,000? He said, yep. He said, but you didn't do anything. He said, no, but I knew where to not do anything. And that's kind of the way it is when you see a certified animal chiropractor. They go in, they adjust the animal, remove that nervous system interference. It doesn't take very long. A guy by the name of D.D. Palmer once said that if you're working on a person, human patient, and it takes you over a minute or 2, you're wasting not only your time, but the patient's time. And that's kind of the way it is with animal chiropractic. Horses maybe takes a little longer because we have to talk to them a little bit more, get them to relax. Dogs, man, 4 or 5 minutes and they should be in and out, done. Because that's all the time it should take. A certified animal chiropractor is going to use his hands, going to diagnose where the problems are. He's going to feel some things. May or may not be where the x-rays show the problem to be. Because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for, these problems that are very, very small. They're sometimes radiographic, sometimes not. But remember, it only takes the weight of a feather, to decrease nerve transmission by up to 50 or 60%. So, animal chiropractic. Animal chiropractor is going to use his hands, going to diagnose, going to use his eyes, diagnose. A lot of times we can surmise what the subluxations are that are present based on the lack of the animal's ability to move in a certain direction and our understanding of what the spine looks like. And then we know how that affects the whole body, because every nerve in the body goes through this hole right here in a dog, all but two. And so it's very important for us to know what's happening, what goes through there, and so that we can understand that, remove that interference, and help that body to heal at its utmost. Now, might be a puppy, we're helping him to pay attention better, to be better housebroken, play with toys better, to learn new tricks, all kinds of stuff. Might be an older dog that we're helping extend the life on, making it feel better. Might be an older horse, might be a competition animal, that we're helping cut that 1/10 of a second off. This is going to make the difference between, a check or no check, between making, a national team or not making a national team, between getting that extra title or, going home empty-handed. So animal chiropractic help the best be the best, to help the nervous system to do what it's supposed to do, right? So remember, above, down, inside out, that's the only way the body can heal. Keep your animals adjusted. Any animals, chickens, more eggs, pigs, faster rate of gain, cattle, less stress, more reproduction, right? Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is animal chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O, and today I'm here with Dr. Sarah Lopez. why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Doc?
Okay, so I own my own practice. I've had it for almost 3 years now. It's a mixed animal, mobile-only practice, and it's thriving pretty good now that COVID has kind of hit. I mean, it was thriving otherwise, but it's been crazy nowadays. And I took the chiropractic course with Dr. O and Dr. Amy. It's been about a year now, I think. And I've been really happy with the program. So, yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
All right. So, what percentage of the animals that you see get a chiropractic adjustment?
So I do mostly large animals at this point. I do a lot of equine and bovine work. I'd say probably at least 80% of my equine practice right now is just chiropractic adjustments. A lot of performance horses, but even like I've been able to get through to my clients that have older horses that have arthritis, things like that, that are kind of just like, well, do you think that would work on this horse too? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to really help your horse. So most of my equine clients I chiropractic. The bovine folks, on the other hand, are harder to convince. I did have one client that I was doing embryo transfers on, that I had a donor with me at the house and I was setting her up, and I said, we're going to go ahead and adjust her while she's here. And so she did really well. I think it's got a lot of potential, especially in the reproduction area. So if I can get those guys on board, I think that's going to take off as well. Canine side, I'm going to say it's maybe about 10% of my small animal practice right now, just mainly because most of my practice is large animal. I think if I had more small animal clients, they probably would be more receptive to it, but I kind of don't have a lot of time for small animal. Most of it's just large.
Okay, all right. Don't forget to call that gentleman that wants you to have you come see to his place.
Yeah, I know. I need to give him another call. Thank you.
Because that's definitely, if you go in there with the expectation of all you're going to do is adjust dog, man, you can just see a lot of dogs in a short period of time.
Yes.
And anyway, so you've been doing it for about a year now. What's the most surprising thing that you found about chiropractic that you were like, wow, I didn't know that?
I think it's hard to narrow down to one specific time. I think every time I do something, I find something new. My favorite cases to do are the really high performance horses that the clients see huge improvement instantly, which brings warmth to my heart. The main ones that I can think of are the rope horses and the barrel horses. The rope horses take a lot of big hits, and so their necks are always out. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just a New Mexico thing, but every roper thinks it's the horse's shoulder. Oh, the shoulder's out, Doc, the shoulder's out. And it's that way every time, and it never, ever is actually the shoulder. It's always the lower neck. And a lot of the barrel horses are the same way. And my biggest satisfaction is to tell them when I first start, okay, I'm going to adjust up here, and then I'm going to adjust back there, and then you're going to see a huge difference in your horse. And they're like, yeah, but it's actually right here. And I'm like, I promise it's not right there. It's actually either up by the atlas or down by the sacrum. And I promise you're going to be riding a new horse the next time you take him out to practice. And sure enough, they come back and they're like, wow, I was really impressed. My horse was completely different, including my own father. So that was a fun one, because it's taking the non-believers and making them believers. And sometimes it doesn't even take a full adjustment to make them believers. Because my dad specifically, I went after module 1 and adjusted one of his really good ranch horses. And he was never a believer, well, sure, I think it works in people, but I guess, you're doing it why not? Just as and he said, I don't know what he said, but he felt really good the next day. And I was like, so you're telling me, Dad? Yeah. So those are cool. Those are cool moments.
Yeah, they are. So, hey, what do you wish? You kind of locked up, I think. I don't know that you're in a very good position. What do you wish everybody knew about chiropractic?
What do I wish they knew? I think there's a couple of things. So I think for those that don't believe in chiropractic, I wish that they better understood the way the body has an ability to heal itself, and that our goal is to realign the skeletal system to allow the nervous system to work properly. So I wish they would just give us a chance. For the people that do give it a chance, I wish that they would have some more patience with it. I'm talking about my more severe cases like neurologic courses, because they want instant results right now. And sometimes you do see that. But for a lot of the chronic cases, I want them to know that it's going to take more than one adjustment. We always talk about doing minimum adjustments, but sometimes it honestly just takes longer than that. And that consistency is key. If you can work them out until they're actually realigned properly and they can hold their adjustments, then I think it's awesome, because then we can just do once a month. But I have a couple clients that are like, okay, we'll just do one. And I'm like, okay, his atlas and his sacrum are really bad. I should really see him again in 2 weeks. And then they're like, okay, we'll look again in 2 months. And I'm like, that's not quite the way it works. So I think that's another thing I wish that they would understand is until you get them to a maintenance point, you're always going to have a little bit of trouble with them, because their body doesn't have enough time to get their skeleton or to get their nervous system in a proper way that will maintain them to hold their adjustments. But then once that happens, then it's more smooth sailing after that, because then once they're able to hold it, then you just have to see me once a month, So that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah, I always tell people about a half a day for every day the problem's been there. And so, like, I had a guy come in the other day, and when he first showed up, he said, yeah, the dog's been that way for 3 months. And then he came in the other day, it was only a week after his first adjustment. And he's like, he's a lot better. He's back to where he was 3 months ago. But, he's always, for 4 years, had a little bit of a limp in that leg. Do you think it'd ever go away?
Well, it's gonna take some work.
Yeah, that's gonna take some work. Yep. So
yeah,
and I think expectations sometimes.
Yes.
And then also is what people think is normal. Oh, sure. He always does that.
Right. Until they don't do it one day, and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was an option.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. So cool. What's your biggest, like, I know you already talked about your dad's horse a little bit, but the biggest win you've had, the one that was like even surprised you?
So this is a big win in a sense, and I'm a little sad because I never got to finish up on this case. And I know we have talked about it. I've called you one-on-one to talk about this horse. But it was a neurologic horse, a rope horse, and we don't know what happened to him. He just kind of started stepping on his front feet, crossing over. And he was a very high-performing, like professional level type of horse before he got injured. And this horse had gone through like finals in Vegas, and they really counted on him there because there's a whole bunch of ropings there. And then they brought him back, and they said a week after they brought him back, he started doing this. And so we were going to work him up for a lameness. Couldn't get a hold of the owner for a while for that, and then we finally got a hold of him. And when we started working him up, and I blocked the front feet, I told him, this is not bone pain. This is not foot pain. I said, this is neurologic issues, because even if we block him, he's not stopping this behavior. And so something is wrong up in the neck, up by the atlas, somewhere along those lines. But I said, well, how long has he been like this now? Because I couldn't get a hold of him. He'd been like that for almost a year by the time I finally got my hands on him. So I convinced the owner to let me take the horse, and I adjusted him almost every day, sometimes twice a day when I was working with him. And when they brought him to me, he was dull, eyes were dull. He was stepping on himself all the time in the front. He always kind of was hot, which was interesting. And I don't think I ever told you that, but he always kind of had a little bit of warmth to him. And this was like the end of fall, beginning of winter. So it's not like it was summer outside. And after adjusting him, and they came to pick him up after a month, and then we were supposed to follow up, but that never happened. The owners were really impressed. He was still crossing over on his front feet. And he was still standing a little post-legged, but it was a huge improvement from where we started. And adjusting him that often and getting him on a pretty decent nutrition plan made a huge difference in him. Even the owner said, like, yeah, he doesn't even feel hot anymore, you know? And the only time that he would really step on his front feet is when he got aggravated with me. Any time other than that, when I had him turn out in the arena, he's starting to walk normal and everything was starting to kind of iron out. So that case for me, even though I didn't even get to finish it, although I know where the horse is, so I thought about like just stopping by and adjusting him. That case was a really big win for me, because I think that was a big learning moment for me, because not every horse is the same. And so it was interesting to see that, okay, you know, sometimes it is okay to adjust more frequently depending on what the animal needs. So for him, sometimes it was twice a day, sometimes it was once a day, sometimes it was every 2 days. You know, it's kind of, the more time you spend with the animal, you start to kind of realize what their body is actually needing, and they'll tell you. And it's just a matter of the person that owns the horse paying attention to it. So that one was a huge win for me. Yeah, besides my dad, because, you know, having that support is huge, and having just being able to take that doesn't really believe, and then seeing like the instant results, those two are my biggest wins for sure.
Well, and you know, my dad thinks I'm a quack, so yeah, the fact that your dad supports you is great.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so yeah, because Anyway, so yeah, having a win close to home is always important.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Cool. So I'm so glad that we had this time today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Nothing. I guess if there's anybody who's listening that's a veterinarian or chiropractor, and they were really interested in doing something like this but weren't really sure, I'd say just go ahead and take the leap and just do it, because before I started doing chiropractic work, I knew of it, and I'm just gonna be a little honest here. I was trying to decide between acupuncture and chiropractics, and my husband's a roper and his dad is too, and so they've always had a chiropractor working on their horses, and so, you know, they thought it was the bee's knees, and I'm like, okay, I kind of believe in it, and I don't really know enough about it. And I asked their opinions about what I should do, and they said that I should do acupuncture because I'm too small to do chiropractic. And I was like, at that point, like, all right, that's it. I'm doing chiropractic. I'm doing it because you told me I couldn't do it. And so if you're small, and if you're kind of nervous about doing it, just do it, because it's totally worth it. And I really like the ACES program. They're very personal, one-on-one, small class sizes, and a lot of experience. You're out adjusting animals after the first module, which is awesome. And for me, I'm a very hands-on person. I'm not like I sit down reading the book 15 times and then I got it. You know, I got to get my hands on something. So ACES was perfect for that. And size isn't really an issue. I mean, sure, there's some cases that, okay, if I was just a little taller, that would be awesome. But if you're small, it's not about brute strength. If it is about brute strength, then you're doing it wrong. So, and if you're small already, you already know how to get around those small, painful things. So I'd say take take a moment, talk to somebody about it that's been through the program, or talk to the instructors, and just go ahead and do it. It's going to completely change your life, because my income for just my practice alone has jumped over 60% since I started doing chiropractics, which is huge, because I can do one chiropractic adjustment compared to something like a laceration repair in a quarter of the time and make just as much money and see almost more satisfaction from that, because my chiropractic adjustment isn't going to dehiss and get infected, versus my laceration repair that might. So it's just one of those things that it will change your life if you do it. If you guys have any questions, just give me a call, or send me a text, or Dr. O, any of those things, and reach out to us, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I thank you so much. Wasn't going to talk about money, but since you brought it up, you said it increased you by 60%. How long do you think it took you to pay off the class?
Oh my gosh, I paid off the class in the first 2 months after I finished the program. And the only reason I didn't pay it off sooner is because I had a little bit of guilt, like not being able to do a full adjustment on an animal. That I was already adjusting animals after the first module, like on my way home from Texas. So I think that there is opportunity right after the first module, like to start making that money back. So yeah, it took me no time to pay it off.
And now that you can adjust the full animal, you choose not to adjust the full animal sometimes and charge the same amount.
Right, yep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Anyway, I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so I'm glad you're doing good. Thanks for the time we spent today. Until next time, everybody, keep adjusted. Remember, the body heals front to back, inside out, or in humans, above, down, inside out. All right? Keep your atlas on straight and have a great day.
Basically was introduced to chiropractic by Dr. O when I was a little girl, and I was about to tell the story, and he's like, let's record it. So I have to tell this story because I grew up with horses, and I feel like Dr. O and I have come such a long way in our practices, just our lives too in the last 15 years. A lot has changed. And when I was, I guess this was like early 2000s, Dr. O's ranch is
2001.
2001. Yeah, so my family plays polo, and we moved from Indonesia to Dallas, and the first thing we bought were polo ponies, and we had our little mobile home and our polo ponies, and our horses were that was our life. And one of our horses got hurt, injured her hip, and our veterinarian at the time recommended animal chiropractic. And I'd never been adjusted. I'd never even heard about chiropractic for people or animals at that time. And we were like, what is this? And so we had Dr. O out, and he adjusted her several times and recommended some exercises to do with her. And within 3 months, she was better. And it was one of those things where this horse could have, in any other setting, like it saved the horse's life. Like some settings, these horses end up getting auctioned off or mistreated, and this horse was able to come back and be an athlete again. And we were able to basically save this horse. And so it was my first little taste of the miracle of chiropractic and how the nervous system can reconnect and heal the tissues of even after a soft tissue injury. It was pretty traumatic.
So if you want to pass on this question, you can.
Okay.
What had you intended to do before becoming if you weren't going to be a chiropractor?
So I was either going to be a medical doctor. I was actually thinking like surgeon or Veterinarian.
Thank you again. Appreciate
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
it. Good luck on your new venture. It's great.
Thanks.
But I'm more impressed with the first part of the story about how you made your own job. And I'm serious, because we get all the time about how I'm a chiropractor and I can't adjust animals in my state. Because
The only state I'm aware of where that's actually the case is Iowa, right?
no.
Did they change that? Because it
Well-
said in the chiropractic law that it was for human spines only.
The veterinary law says, well, see, Texas law says that too.
Yeah. Because I heard that animal chiropractors in Iowa were getting cease and desist orders from the state chiropractic board because of doing animal chiropractic. Even if they had it like...
That was a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was back when I was in Iowa, so that would have been about 8 years ago. So you feel like that's different now?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I just did an interview right before with an animal chiropractor that does... She's a Palmer graduate. She lives right in the middle of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And she bought a practice. She just started a practice in a small town, and over half of her practice is food animals.
Yeah.
Cows and pigs and sheep.
Mm-hmm.
About a third of her practice is horses, a few dogs, and the rest humans. And
Wow.
she's getting referrals from all over, from all kinds of veterinarians.
Good. That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the environment there has changed then, because that was actually one reason I left.
Yeah, it's still it's still referral.
Yeah. But the chiropractic board isn't going after them anymore. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't hard, honestly. It was easier than I thought it was going to be to walk into a vet clinic and get a job. But I think I found the right one here. So, and actually Dr. Israelson, James Israelson, helped me. You know, he's like, I think you need to go talk to Pam Nichols in Bountiful. She's really open to this kind of stuff, and I think she would accept you. And it was easy. So.
All right, your little one says, "Me, Mom."
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, Dr. O.
Bye.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.